Good. How are you doing?
Doing well.
Yeah. How was your day?
Busy.
Yeah. Same.
Made a lot of stuff. Only stapled myself once. You know.
Perfect. Yeah, I'm not bleeding, so I'm good.
I bleed probably multiple times a week.
What's up?
Sorry, did I lose my volume?
Nope, you're here. What'd you say though? Can you hear me?
Everything is echoing. What's happening?
Are you on Bluetooth?
How about now?
How about now?
Yeah, for some reason everything's repeating like 10 seconds behind.
Really? Still?
Yeah.
Huh. Close out and try to come back in.
All right.
I'm just by myself now. Hey guys. How's everybody doing? All right. How's that? Better?
Let's find out.
Can you hear me now?
I can hear you. Just waiting to hear my voice start cycling again.
Is it
No,
doing it?
guess we're good.
Okay. We had something weird last time too, and the guest just had to go back out and come back in, and it was fine.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah. So, how's things?
Good. Looks like about to get really busy again.
Yeah.
So
Work's picking
yeah, we
up.
always hit like furniture business usually hits a downtime right now. And I've been in it about 10 years, so this is like the third election cycle, and every election like all of the work stops like right before, and then January will hit, and then like nobody has patience.
Yeah.
People would be like, I'm a one-man shop, and I'm like already have 4 different people that want stuff by like mid-January, but their stuff's not here yet. So,
jeez,
it doesn't. I literally pull every staple by hand. Like it takes a minute.
Yeah. So they bring you their furniture already, and then you reupholster everything and kind of make it how they want, or do you make the frames and everything? I know we've talked about this before, but now I don't remember.
So right now I work out of my house. Let me try to find a spot to set this down.
Yep.
My hand's gonna get real tired real quick. There we go. So I used to work at one of the better custom shops in the region, and we had 7,000 square feet, full wood shop, 6 guys. So we could make like magic happen overnight type thing. You know, everything we do is handmade and like top notch. But now that I do it all myself, I went from 7,000 square feet to half a garage, and my basement, my gracious wife let me turn into a full stitch shop. So I've got, a cutting table and 2 sewing machines and a big old steam table, and then washer and dryer that I use as my stand-up desk in the middle of it. But yeah, so it's all just the truck will show up and drop off a handful of old furniture, or new frames. Like you can order frames, and I can glue them and staple them together type thing, and go from there. Like I have all the stuff to do it. That's what I've been doing. So if people work with me, I can offer more than just reupholstery.
Gotcha. So these people that are kind of bitching, are they bringing in old furniture, or are they wanting you to make new?
Old furniture. It's mostly, like I said, right now it's a lot of reupholstery, and that's most companies. There's more reupholstery than there is new furniture, anyways.
Yeah.
But
Makes sense.
I literally just had one a couple weeks ago that was pillows. Like one of my things that I offer is these handmade pillows. It sounds froofy, but it's my bread and butter. Like a big old pillow order comes in, and that's like a gold mine for me.
Yeah.
But then I don't offer delivery, and the designer calls me and they're like, "This is for a party. Can you go deliver it in Boston?" And I'm like,
"No.
You're paying my hourly rate each way, and it's gonna be Wednesday at lunch." Like,
yeah.
So,
and what they don't know is I just gave myself a raise, so my hourly rate's more expensive now.
Well, I have it's mostly like relationship based. So a lot of my clients are people from the old shop because they would come in
Yeah.
and like meet the people that did the work for them type thing. So
Yeah.
they already knew who I was when I was like kicking it off. Um, but if my like biggest client needs a rush job, I'll straight up tell her I'm like I'm buying weed and like I'm taking my wife out to dinner. You're giving me money. Like they're like, yep, put
Yeah.
it on the
Yeah.
bill. It's fine. You know.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
How
some
funny.
people are really cool. Other people I have to just be like, Rogers Draftworks, your pillows here. Like, it's like kind of
Yeah.
who I'm dealing with.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, it's high end shit, right? I mean, you're not just recovering some, person's fucking pillow that like me.
No, we've done everything from like owners of football teams, CEOs
Yeah.
of Google. Um, I think I could talk about it now. One point in the news, I don't know if it was the hooker or the CEO Google's cousin, but someone died on a yacht. And I upholstered that yacht. So, uh,
That's
so it was like on the news, and then we got the call. They're like, "So we're doing a boat." And we're like, "What happened to the last boat?" We go, "I don't know. We got a new boat." So,
yeah. How fun
um,
did you? So that's
but
your 15 seconds of fame right there. Too bad.
oh,
Too bad they
I
couldn't see like
told
a little
everybody,
tag or
like, "Did you guys
something.
see the guy that died on the boat? That was my boat." My cushion's probably like, you know,
Wow.
it's just funny. It's not something that like most people expect I do, or like I tell people I make furniture and they think it's woodwork, which I can do.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
what I grew up doing. But like I told you when I met you, it means like my sofa in my living room has dragons on it. It's
Yeah.
like I
Yeah.
can make things however I want. Um,
Yeah, no, it's an interesting skill set. My guy Will that used to work for me, he actually left earlier this year and went to work at his dad's upholstery shop. And
yeah,
so, it's an
that's cool.
interesting skill set because I mean, it's like anything that people do with their hands. There's just less and less people doing it. You know what I mean? So it's to me, it's like super neat, and like I dig it. Like he does videos all the time of him doing stuff, and I like to watch him. Because I don't know how to do that. It's something new, you know what I mean? And it looks fun, and it's just not many people left, to do shit like that.
No, I don't know. I think there's one other shop in the region that's like a dude my age trying to get off the ground.
Yeah.
He actually bought my old shop's wood shop.
Oh,
Um,
nice.
because he's just further off than I am, and it's not something I wanted to like was nowhere near willing to take on. So I'm like, all you by all means. That's not a
Oh,
dig.
yeah. Yeah, yeah,
Um,
yeah.
but I haven't heard anything even about like I don't know who my competition is. I don't know anyone's
Yeah.
name. I don't. I have enough orders coming up that make my life easy, and I know there's other shops in the area, but I'm getting the work. So
Yeah.
it was
That's
like
good
that
though.
shop. Like, I got into this because my father-in-law.
Yeah. I remember you tell me that.
I've done construction, I've done roofing, I've done a lot of different jobs, and over the years, I ended up like getting into retail and managing a music store. But when I drove to Massachusetts to ask for her hand in marriage, I walked into the shop and I'm like, "You guys have benches and tools and air. Like, I don't know what this is, but I want in." After a couple of years, they took me in as the apprentice a couple of days a
Yep.
week, and then it grew from there. And
Yeah. That's cool. So you've been doing it how long again? You said 10 years now?
yeah, so 9 years, almost to the date, 9 years at the shop, and then a little over a year here at the house.
Nice. Nice. And how do you like doing it out of your house?
I love it. I'm kind of spoiled. Like I used to drive 40 minutes for the commute, and you don't know if you're gonna
Yep.
hit like traffic or an accident because the highways out here are the Wild West. You don't know what you're gonna get. Um,
Where are
so
you
now,
out of again?
huh?
Where are you out of again? I forgot.
I live in Massachusetts.
Massachusetts. That's right. Okay.
Yeah, I'm north of Boston.
Okay. North of Boston. Okay.
I say northern Massachusetts. I'm not from here. So whenever I say
Okay.
I'm in like, because I border like the next town over is New Hampshire. So to me, that's North Massachusetts. And they're like, "You're
Yeah.
not North Massachusetts." I'm like, so
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know.
Feels
You
north.
got, you know,
Is
Western
it snowing there?
Massachusetts takes up more than the state than anything else. Like, it doesn't make sense to me out here. So I'm just
Yeah.
transplant. I'm along for the ride.
Is it
But
is it snowing there yet?
yeah, we've had snow.
Already? Fuck.
Not a lot. Like just like we had an inch or two the other night, or like a dusting. We haven't had anything major.
I
Um,
say already, but it's December. But like yesterday I was wearing shorts and a t-shirt. So
it was
like
50. I
today's
mean, it was raining, but it was 50 yesterday.
yeah,
Uh,
yeah. Like today's a little colder, and we had like an overcast. But it feels like our winters here in California have been starting way later. Usually we just get a lot of rain, and we haven't seen any rain yet this year. So it's going to
It's
be a
over the.
wet first part of next year.
I moved here about 10 years ago, and it was funny that like actually the last two times I moved from Tennessee to Brooklyn, New York. My first winter there, they had a record-setting like 3-4 foot like overnight blizzard. And then 5 years later, I moved to Massachusetts, and that Thanksgiving they had a record-setting winter. So it was like
Yeah.
the most the region had ever seen. And I'm like, first year I've had a car again, and my car, trying to
Yeah.
like
Yeah. Yeah.
navigate all that. But lately, yeah, we've been able to ride into November, December. I've
Yeah.
ridden, or we'll have like a freak warm day. We've ridden on Christmas Day or something like that. But
Yeah. Yeah. We'll be probably in shorts on Christmas. It feels like out here is just we're not getting any cold.
yeah,
But again, our cold is not the same as your cold though. This is all I own to stay warm is a hoodie. I don't have fucking big old jackets and shit.
oh, I'm like we joke that if like high school Nick could see me now because I was this little like wannabe goth kid, and now I wear like Carhartt everything and steel toed like 8-inch work boots every day, and
Yup.
it's drive a big old white van. It's funny.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
it's all about like the comfort. Once I found like Carhartt bibs, I was like, well, this is my identity now. Like,
Hey, when it works, right?
yeah. Well, I didn't get again when I moved here. I got a job at Harley, and everyone thought I was a hipster. They kept calling me, and I'm like, dude, if you guys went to Brooklyn, I am nothing. But I
Yeah.
was like, all right, I better find Carhartts. And then when I did it as a joke, and then I went and put something on for the first time. I'm like, damn it, this is so nice.
Yup, 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 yup. Yeah, I used to have a ton of Carhartt stuff a long time ago. It's been a while.
Well, all my stuff's from still then. I think my jacket's like 10 years old, but it's the most comfortable thing I've ever
Oh
worn.
yeah.
Like
It
more
lasts
than
a long time.
oh, the
Yeah.
sleeve. So my right arm's clubbed, so it's shorter than the left, and I always have
Yeah.
to like, tuck my sleeves in. The whole thing's like gone all the way around.
You don't go
Because
get it tailored?
since then I've started like tailoring my own stuff, or I get used to like rolling sleeves or things like that. I
Yeah.
modify like all my gloves, and like if it actually matters, I'll like I sew for a living, so I can like
Yeah, exactly.
do it. It's just funny that jackets I just never cared enough to actually like do it. But then over time, like my right hand, the right cuff will eventually be gone on like all of my work jackets or
Yeah, 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 yeah.
so.
That's something crazy to have to deal with, I bet.
I'm gonna find my water. Hold just a second.
Yep, go for
My phone's leaning on my water.
it.
All right, we'll go this way.
Yep,
My
perfect.
inner Joe kid trying to come out.
Right, there you go. So talk to us about this bike. I know there's a history about it. I'd like to hear about it.
Um, kind of like a couple different stories like merged into one. So I've been on bikes for about 15 years. And I've always like tinkered with them or done like an exhaust or like something little.
Yep.
Um, and then on my 35th birthday, I bought myself a like the brand new Street Bob. It just came out with the 114. Thing was gorgeous. And that was the first one where I was like, all right, new bike, new platform. I want to like dive into this more.
Yep.
And I get 1,200 miles in it, and an old lady shoots out of an intersection, sideswiping me. We go across the double yellow, and another car hits me head on, and it was nasty. And
Yeah.
so I wake up in the hospital with a tube down my throat, and I got like a notepad talking to my wife. And the first question is, "Will I, be able to walk again?" I couldn't feel anything.
Yeah,
Will I
yeah, yeah.
walk again? And they're like, "Yeah, well, time, but you're good. We'll work it out." And my second question is, "Will I, or not my fault? Will I be able to ride again?" And the doctor just turns around and walks out of the room. And my wife, who rides, doesn't skip a beat. She's like, "Yeah, let's go."
Yeah, yeah,
Because she
yeah.
felt I took like a 30-minute. I worked all day, in the basement making
Yeah.
pillows actually, and my wife was up to Maine and back with the girls on the bikes. And she like came home to a phone. So it's just like wild that they were gone all day. I left for 30 minutes and got hit outside my grocery store.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, like 5 minutes from my house. That's what they say, right?
Yeah, yeah, they do, they do. I've had it. I mean, I haven't got hit ever, but I've had to put a bike down before, and it was literally like 2 miles from my driveway,
Yeah,
But it's
and I mean,
it just
it happens fast. Like
oh yeah,
I remember trying. No, I didn't have a chance in the world of recovering this, but I remember like the thought of trying to put my handlebars over, but like you know,
yeah,
that
yeah,
besides you're going wherever the mass is going. So,
exactly. You can
anyways,
think about it so much, but it's like I remember like vividly. It's been 10 years or something since I did that, but I remember vividly like, what are my options here? You know what I mean? And the best, it was either T-bone or put it down, and I was like, up, going down. Then fuck this.
well,
You know?
yeah, it's slow and fast at the same time. Like I could
Yep.
replay every like millisecond of it, and like
Yep.
we like keep joking, like could I have gone right? Could I have gone left? I wasn't going fucking nowhere. Like
Yeah.
I was going into
Yeah.
that car. There was
Yeah.
no like good effort, you
Yeah.
know.
Exactly.
Uh,
Exactly.
but but at the same time, I try not to like make that the staple point of my life because that's a split second incident. Like the big
Oh yeah.
defining part for me is the recover. I call it the rebuild, so I don't have to like,
Yep.
oh my accident. I just say, oh, since the rebuild,
Yeah.
you know, because so much has happened since then, and I was in bed for so long that I found your sprocket video that everyone references, and
Yep.
that was
Yep.
honestly one of the first things I was like, all right, well, I know I could do that. What other videos can I find? And like, um, trying to make a deal for my soft tail while I was like a first week in the hospital out of a month. My buddy Keith's the manager. He sold me the orange bike, and he's like, "Yeah, man, I'll take care of whatever you need with the insurance." I'm like, "Yeah, when they get the check, you're gonna give me another bike." He's like, "Dude, like let's, you know, like he's not in a rush." Like, the day I signed for the soft tail was the last day I walked with a cane.
Oh,
Um,
nice.
and I didn't even write it that like I started working on it, started buying parts and like fiddling
Yep.
immediately, but I got to like work on it for 18 months before I actually got to ride it. So it was the most
Wow.
done up bike I'd ever ridden. It had like, bars, exhaust, like all the, details you
Yeah.
can get, did ARP all over.
Yep.
Um,
Yep.
just because I could and I wanted to keep like, I thought that was my, learn, grow, dive in, get my like assembler's ticket, if you will.
Yeah. Yeah.
Dive
Yeah.
like assembler versus builder bullshit.
Yep.
Um,
Yep. Yep.
which personally I do not care. Um, but I thought that was like, you think that that's your big project and this is something that's like take me to the next level. And next thing I know, this FXR falls into, and I've already been following the FXR tour.
Yep.
And my friend's grandfather had passed. And
Yep.
so I went to go help them clean all this stuff out. And my friend was essentially inheriting the bike and has zero interest in motorcycles. So we ended up working something out. And he was a musician. I've been a musician my whole life. So we did like a tradesies type thing. And
Yep.
I got to bring this thing home. And I was, just off of like the tour inspiration, I was like, okay, might do like told you I want to do like a nest fairing, like Ventura
Yep.
style, just like a resto mod, clean it up.
Yeah.
Um, and then all of a sudden, this burnt M8 Street Glide rolls past us. And my buddy Matt's like, you need that. I'm like, okay, we
Those
were
are
at
the kind
Salt
of
Lake,
friends you
and,
got to have.
huh?
Those are the kind of friends you got to have.
Yeah, oh yeah, he's good at spending my money. Um, but so that's the whole inspiration of this whole thing is like nothing's fresh, nothing's like not a lot of it's I'm gonna buy or make as much of it new and nice as I can, but
Yeah.
old frame. It was a 2020 Street Glide that burnt top down. Um, so there's a lot of like I actually got cleaned up the motor a ton. I'll show you it, but it took some work. Like this thing was crispy, and now like the cylinders look brand new. You
Yeah.
know, because the inside stayed fine,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
uh, but just the outside was wrecked. And someone else wanted like the frame, the tens, everything else, and the motor looked bad enough, and the throttle body's trashed. I was, we just worked it out. Where I was like, you can take. It was a swap meet, so I said you can take anything off my table you want.
Yeah.
Give you a little bit of cash. And like I'm like nothing into this motor,
That's
trade
awesome.
frame. Like I'm, so far ahead that I was like, all right, well, my machinist set the marker for motor mounts and making it kind of happen for people. So,
Yeah.
you know, I'll hop on the train. I don't care.
Oh,
Trends are
well,
for a reason.
I mean, I love the M8 motor altogether, man. I want to put it in a rigid frame, so I think that'd be a lot of fun, an M8 rigid chopper. You know what I mean?
That'd be
But
super cool.
it'd probably be too fucking fast, man. Is the problem?
It,
Like,
well, that's what we both ride. And I figured if we were going to go into something and do something wild, I at least know the platform
yeah,
well enough that like I know nothing about FXRs, I know nothing about older Evos. I wasn't a cool
yeah,
kid that got into bikes early.
yeah,
I
yeah,
was the game and got whatever used hand me down I could find up until I finally traded at 35 for something that I wanted.
yeah, yeah,
Everything other than that was just like what's a better than I have now and I can get for a deal. And
yeah. Well, that's the
you know,
way it works, though, man. You always got to trade up. I mean, my first bike was a '69 Ironhead, and it's
oh
ever
dude,
since then it's been a trade up.
my 97 Virago was such a bad idea. My wife, girlfriend at the time, resented me and that bike. It never ran. Like I think I got it around like the block a handful of times before I sold it for parts.
Yep, yep. Well, you learned something though. I'm sure. Never buy a
Oh, so
'97 Virago.
well, it never crossed my mind to like take it to a shop. I didn't have any money, so I
Yeah,
bought
yeah,
a
yeah.
$35 climber manual, and I got the cheapest tool set I could find at AutoZone.
Yep.
Like break the socket wrench like the first time or like changing the oil, the whole head
Oh
came
yeah. Yep.
um but that like ruining that bike was such a great education. I mean, it was already ruined, but I made it much worse,
Ruining it.
you know.
Yeah.
Um,
I mean, it's that thing. Like everybody starts somewhere. You know what I mean? It's easy to get caught up in the Instagram bullshit. Where you see where all these guys are at. You know what I mean? That have shops or really nice home shops and every tool possible and all this shit. But everybody started somewhere. You know what I mean?
well,
When
not
I
everybody can be like a shop owner. Like everyone
Yeah,
wants to be a bike builder. Like I'm following the same. Like I want to build bikes, but at the same time, like I don't intend on owning my own shop. Like furniture is
yeah,
my future.
yeah,
It was kind of cool. My father-in-law, who's taught me the whole time, he came down here and saw. I was showing him all the furniture I was doing, and I showed him the bike and told him everything's going on with it. And
yeah.
I thought he was gonna like bust my balls, telling me to like focus on the business. And he was like, "Could you get a space to pursue both?" And I'm like, "Don't play with me." Like, so it's cool to like have that support and people understand that like obviously it's a passion and fun, and I
Oh yeah,
want get into it and make a name for myself and have fun doing it. But at the same
yeah,
time, it's not going to be my day job. Like,
yeah, yeah. It's
nights and normally when
it
there's
can
time.
easily consume your life.
Yeah.
Which I mean, you can see it has already. It's
Yeah, this is just my two bikes and like, Melissa's, my wife has a whole stack of parts over there waiting to go on hers.
Yup, yup.
Yeah.
It consumes your life and your bank account.
Yeah. So someone asked me if I was going to like try to offer service. I'm like, and there's so many like small shops in Massachusetts that I'd rather support,
Oh yeah,
one of them out here.
yeah,
Um,
yeah,
than try to like take on anything like that. I mean, during the busy season, I spend 70, 80 hours a week doing furniture. That's why I'm
yup.
trying to like, get as much done on this as I can now, because there's going to be times that I'm not going to be able to like.
Gotcha. Yeah, you've been cruising, man. You've been cruising on that thing.
Well, that's why I've been using I spent 3 days cutting on it just to like get everything in there, and I wanted to do it all in one shot and
Yep.
get it all mocked up so that I could fortunately, I have a handful of friends that like my buddy Jeff, WFO for life. He's got like his garage is like FXRs are us. I went
Oh,
in there and
nice.
it's like, I was like, oh, I'll borrow this front end and like these risers and these like,
Yeah.
donated the fenders that I'm using. But it's been great to like get references and, have him and my buddy Matt come over and like give me help.
Yeah.
My buddy Matt too, Matt Cyclist, he's the one that's been kind of like directing me with like the cutting and he's gonna like help me do a lot of the welding and stuff like that. Like I took a welding class, like I've done it, but I'm not,
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm not a welder. I'm barely a
Yeah.
wrangler.
Yeah. Last thing you'd want is that thing to break while you're riding.
No, and I want to like like you see the FXR tour plaques with like who did this and this, and like it's mostly the people's names, but we want to do the same thing. I want my name to be as many of those as possible, but
Oh
like
yeah.
the people that that are going to help me are going to be like, fortunately I have close friends that really want to be a part of this project and understand my story and what I'm trying to do, other than just taking it somewhere and saying like, hey, weld
Yeah.
this. It
Yeah.
needs
Yeah.
for them as well.
Oh yeah,
uh,
100%. Man, it takes a team sometimes, man, and it's not a bad thing. You know what I mean? Like I kind of know how to do everything, but I'm not the best at some of that shit. So if I want to do like sheet metal work on a bike, I take it to my guy who does sheet metal work every fucking day. You know what I
yeah,
mean? So that way it's nice, not all janky like I would do. You know what I mean? I'm not a fabricator, but I can fabricate, sort of. I don't even know if that's the right word to use, but it's just sometimes it takes a team, and when you got a solid team, man, you're gonna have a solid build, and you're done.
yeah, it's been nice. And like after our like my first phone call with you about like really focusing on this and doing this, that was literally what I did. I got a phone with you and I started calling people. I'm like, all right, we're a team now. We got stuff to do. We got a timeline. Like I want
Hell
to take
yeah,
it serious. And
yeah.
everyone was like on board. They're like, let's go.
Yeah, that's cool, man. That's really cool.
I'm super
Well,
pumped.
I guess tell people. I guess let's angle the so we can see it a little bit, and let's start talking about what your plans are with this thing. We're talking about it.
Oh,
Nobody's quite seen it
I
yet.
walk into my lift every time. And my camera's dirty. Hold on, sorry. I kind of helped. All right,
Oh
so
yeah, I can see it good.
So the front end belongs to somebody else, but it's essentially what my plan is. I have dual disc lowers. I really like this fender. He got the
Oh yeah,
front and we'll get to all that. The rear fender off of Jeff did off of a roller that he bought, and the guy handmade them and just threw them in on the deal. And he had no use for them, so he was like, "Hey, want them?" I was like, "Yes."
yeah. I like that front fender. I like that
Like how
lip
it's
and the
got the little
teeth.
lip on the front and then the ridge.
Yeah, yeah. I like that. That's cool.
And I thought I was going to cut it short at first, but I actually really like the shape of it.
Are you going with the nine? That's for a 19.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought about going 17, 19, just try to get it to handle a little better.
Yeah.
Um,
I like a 17 rear. It looks good. Sometimes 16s are a little too small depending on what you do for brakes. But
yeah.
you know what I mean. It's a 17 or an 8. I like an 18 rear also. I think it looks really good. I don't know
Actually, I
why.
was going to have that conversation with you at some point anyways. I haven't,
Yeah.
I've never gotten that far into dealing with like I've dealt with like front ends, but like I've never changed your rear size to get like a different,
Yeah.
performance out of it.
Yeah. I'm not a fan of 21s. I think
No, I
21s
don't.
ride like shit.
My friend had a Sportster with the 21, and we like traded bikes one day, and I just felt like I was all over the place. I
Oh
like
yeah.
my,
Yeah, I
I
got
had like tight T bars with like a 1917 on my Sportster, and it was awesome. Like
Oh
that
yeah.
thing
You
was
perfect.
great.
Perfect. Yeah, because on the 21s you just don't have enough sidewall to fucking really pitch the bike. In my opinion, I have a 21 on my Road King on some Thunderstars, and it's not the bike I would go try to hammer corners on. You know what I mean? It just
Yeah,
doesn't
and I
have
was
enough
one of those guys
tires.
like kind of scared to turn it first. So once I really got into leaning, I started using like all the tire real quick.
Yeah,
To like get that like
exactly,
comfort. Um,
exactly.
when you have to move 50 bikes a day working at Harley and move them into a building for a summer, you
Yep.
get real good at your tight turns.
Yeah. Right. For sure.
I flipped a
What are
bike.
your what?
That wasn't good.
What is your what's your plans for transmission? You gonna do it with a Baker Grudge box?
So I wasn't sure yet. We were talking about I can't remember the guy's name, but there's another guy that down south, Simon. It's almost like a Superman logo.
Uh huh.
But he does. You can send it to him, and he'll heat and back cut the gears, do a
Oh
billet
yeah.
trap door, and re-gear it so that neutral's at the bottom.
Yeah.
Um,
Gotcha. Yeah.
he said he does it to a lot of like the police bikes, and they love it, and a lot of
Yeah.
like
I've heard of that guy too. I don't know his name, but I know who you're talking about. I've heard of that guy. Somebody I'm trying to remember who it was. Somebody I know used him recently, and they were real happy with it.
Simon Charles. So I knew it was
Yeah. There
Simon.
you go.
I had a
Yeah.
paper somewhere with it. I had to like look upside down for it. But it's like really, it's super reasonable priced compared. It's a third of the Grudge box.
Gotcha.
And he's already like, I've only heard of him through like word of mouth. I don't know. I mean, he might be a bigger deal than I know he is, you know. So, but as far as I know, a lot of people are using it and they're really happy with it. And,
Yeah. I know I've talked to somebody who's used him and they were real happy with their transmission. So, you
and
know,
that's why I'm trying to do like everything myself, everything we can make or refurbish ourselves. So then I can go, you know, when the time comes and like nickel and dime so that I can do the transmission and stuff like
yeah.
that. So that I can have the, you know, the reliability and performance that I need.
Yeah. So you're planning on running a full 39 millimeter front end, dual disc?
Yeah. So I like the stock length. I'm short,
Yep.
you
Yep.
know, so I figured I'd get the Race Tech kit and play with the springs, you know, because you can
Yeah.
get a little bit of height out of that.
Yeah.
But this originally had I have a blonde front end for it, but
Gotcha.
I liked the all black. I
Yeah, that all
thought I
black
was gonna
looks
do
good on
like
there.
a whole chrome front end, but once I put this on here, and I've always been like my Softail's all blacked out, you
Yeah.
know, and I like the chrome popping through. And
I
then we're
think if
gonna
you did all that front end like that, all black like that with a chrome wheel, that's gonna be the ticket right
yeah,
there, boy.
that's the goal, and then it's gonna be black and red paint, I think.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, once I got
Who's
to
gonna
see thinking about
who's
that
gonna
black
paint
and
it?
red paint. Me.
Oh, that's right. That's right. I forgot you did that.
So
That'll be fun too. That's gonna be real fun.
yeah, I mean, again, I'm not like a professional or anything.
Yeah,
That
yeah,
started with like at the furniture shop, we stain and clear coat and color all of our feet and frames, and then the soft tail. I ended up doing. I say it was a rattle can job, but it was like I went to a custom aerosol place and got custom cans made and
yeah,
did a really good job with it. If I didn't change my fairing, it would have stayed that way. Like it looked awesome. People would stop me and ask if it was a factory color or not, type thing.
yeah.
Um, so I'm gonna the soft tail is like my test piece, so I'm gonna do that first once it warms up. Because I sprayed originally here in the shop, but over here, you know, upholstery, I can't do
Yep.
that anymore. I got all these sofas and stuff, and it was such a mess. Um, so I got a outside setup that I can use. So once it warms up, I'll do that first, and I got some, you know, out of my ability plans type thing to try to pull off, and then I'll do this next, you know, because I need to worry about getting everything welded and powder coated anyways.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
I keep thinking I'm in like a bigger rush than I am. Like I'm plugging away on it, but at the same time, like I have like time, you know. So once it like
Yeah.
falls into place and you know things make sense. So, but I think
I
I'll be
mean,
able to paint it. I think it'll turn out pretty good.
yeah. Hey Noah, yeah, we're based out of Riverside, buddy. We're doing a YouTube live. My guy Nick here, he's in fucking what did you say, Massachusetts? I can't even say that
Massachusetts.
word. Massachusetts.
Yeah, Massachusetts.
So talk to me about the turbo. Come on, let's get a little closer on that thing. Talk to me about the turbo. You're kind of like you're kind of beating around it. I see it like this.
So along with
Woo!
everything else, someone's old beat turbo,
Hell yeah!
you know. But
Is
again, it
that a
was
track
something
kit?
that like I've wanted or I've just liked the idea of, and Cruzy and a handful of other people have been doing cool things with them. And then
Yep.
you got the, you know, Clean Moto did it for the FXR tour.
Yep.
So
Yep. Yep.
I was just going to do a polished exhaust, but my buddy found this online and pretty much just already offered. I didn't know if he was like getting it to flip or not. And he was like, well, if you want it to mock up and put on the bike, let's go. I'm like,
Damn.
okay. So, you know, I'm sure we'll work that out in the end. But,
Yeah.
you know, it's for what it is. It's super clean. We've already taken this apart and the bearings look good. Everything moves super clean. The headers are stainless, so I've already polished the front one just to see what it would look like.
Yeah. That looks good.
So I think we'll do in the back is up to here. This is stainless as well. So we'll polish that out to here. This is all mild, so we'll just re-black it and keep it clean. And then I don't know where it is, but I bought another flange, and we're gonna do like a pie cut stainless. You know, once I get
Yep.
foot controls on it. and see where my feet are going to land. We'll see where that can come out. But
Did you? I'm not familiar with when you guys do the M8 conversions. Do you use the same location for the FXR mid controls, or do you lose that spot?
no, you have to cut that out.
Gotcha.
So all that's gone down here. So you can
Gotcha.
keep the oil pan support.
Gotcha.
But all the rest comes out. So I've got my markings of like kind of as far over as I can get and still get to the drain bolts on either side.
Yep.
And then, you just work your front motor mounts in.
Gotcha. So you still got to weld the bungs in and everything, or do you already have those?
No, I haven't welded anything yet. We
Gotcha.
ran into a little hiccup getting that done. I didn't have the steel for the frame, and by the time we got stuff going, we found more grinding to do, so we just sat there and like fine tuned stuff for the day. So
Yep. Do you have the bungs and everything already, or do you got to make them?
I've got the bungs.
Gotcha.
The My Machinist mounts comes with the little metal. Actually, I have another set here I can show you.
Oh, it comes with a full kit. He's a fancy girl.
Oh, dude, his stuff's so nice. So this is the other set that I have. So it comes.
Oh, nice.
With the hardware in this piece.
Hell yeah.
And the curve matches up with the frame. So once you weld it in, it's he sends you everything that you need for it.
Yeah. That's cool. That's a nice kit.
Yeah, it's super cool because they did the tour and then he did like a whole run for FXR division. I was like, messaged him immediately. I'm like, got any more? He's like, one set left. I'm like, thanks, please.
Yeah, for sure. Anything to make the job a little bit easier.
Yeah, I mean, I'm diving into worlds that I don't know, So I'm just a person that like, if it makes sense to me, I can do it.
Yep.
This makes sense to me, and so far I haven't done anything wrong. So we're, everything that I've done on my bike, I started with mini bikes. I've built, my mini bike out back is like way too built. It's got like rear suspension and full built motor, and that was my like learning.
Yep.
But that was single pole start. Like that thing rips. Hasn't had any issues yet. So everything that like I've worked on, like everything has progressed really well. And going into this, I haven't hit anything that I've had issues with yet. Everything's super smooth. Everything's been even. I had my motor mounts backwards when I mocked them up first. So then I went to go like put them back on and realized they're backwards. And I have this like wide, which I need the gap for the metal going in. But of course I didn't realize that. So you have like a mild panic attack thinking I've done something wrong. Matt, we got stuff to fix. He's like, you're fine. You're backwards. You actually have to take more off. So go. So it's nice to have people like, am I making mistakes? You're fine. Keep going.
Right. You're gonna learn, man. You're gonna learn today.
Well, and it's funny. Like it took me, God, I've got probably 18 hours into cutting and grinding, if not more. I could do it again in like half the time. Just because you do it once. I could do it cleaner than I already have. So,
Oh yeah, it's the first one's always takes the longest, man. That's the learning one,
Well, it's like I've never taken a motor in and out. So like the first mock up with the transmission and getting it all set took me like a whole evening. Where now I'm like, all right, 12 bolts, and I can have my whole bike taken apart in 20 minutes.
Yeah. How many times have you had that motor in and out of the frame now?
I started doing an Instagram count at one point. I think I was at like 10 lifts, so 5 times in and out. Oh, and then I had to drive it to the metal shop. We should have taken a video. I actually we're like power carried it around his house into the basement and like had to take a break in the middle. That thing gets heavy.
Oh yeah.
I'm not very big. I'm only like 5'10", 150 pounds. 5'10", that's a lot. 5'8".
Yeah. Yeah, you weigh as much as the motor does.
Pretty much, yeah. whole thing together, that sucker's like moving. We because when I got the whole thing, we got it as like a unit, like the primary and trans all together. Me and another friend trying to roll it up a ramp onto the van. That thing alone was ridiculous.
Oh yeah. Are you doing the factory primary and everything, or are you going open belt?
Factory primary. I'm gonna beef it up a little. See what I can get over time. But I'd also like to, as far as like the M8 stuff, I'd like to do like A/B things because like I did just so much research on everything when I did it to the soft tail that if I'm gonna do something to this bike, I'd like to look at like what options are. So like the star comp ramp versus like the dark horse, or like different clutch options. But
Yeah.
overall, I'd like to keep it like the stock style primary.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, I've had pretty good luck with the I do the dark horse with the Evolution Industries clutch.
Hmm.
It's pretty seems to be pretty bulletproof. I've never ran the Star or any other compensator sprocket to say it's better than any other ones, but I've
Right.
had good luck with the dark horse and the Evolution Industries. It's I did originally when I built my M8 bagger, it was a 131, an SNS 131 that we built, and I had the BDL open belt primary system on it, and that thing would slip like crazy. I burned up a set of clutch plates in the first 300 miles,
Oh
and
wow.
so I call them. I'm like, hey man, what's going on here? Like, and they're like, oh, and that's not a that's like a diaphragm spring one. So it's got the ball bearings and then the
Hmm.
diaphragm spring that covers them, right? And so he says, "Oh, you're gonna need our."
Hmm.
Not so if I took it off, I put a factory primary, inner and outer back on with an Evolution Industries clutch, Dark Horse compensator sprocket. Never slipped. So I've had a good experience.
Hands getting tired. No, Andy's for me.
Derek says, Am I lagging really bad?"
You were for a second. You're not now.
Okay. Okay. Sorry, Derek.
Yeah.
He's yelling at me in the comments.
At least your face is like frozen open again.
My face is frozen.
No, no. What?
Oh,
One of the episodes, your mouth was like frozen open. It was
oh
good.
yeah. What it is my phone overheats. So
Oh yeah.
that's what I figured out. Luckily, it's a little chilly, so I got to stay off of it like a half an hour before we start an episode, and it usually does fine. Um, so what are you guys doing? I guess for all your electronics and stuff on the bike.
Um, to do the turbo, you got to run the Thunder Max.
Yep.
So, just figuring out the best option for that. It's not worth doing the Harley touring kit and the Thunder. Like, it would be nice to have the security and like a fob, and with my right arm being the way it is, it's nice to have cruise control.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
that's the debate right now, is if it's worth going that route and trying to put all that effort in, or just going to the NAMS kit. Because I don't want to say I'm good at wiring for bikes. I'm good at electronics and wiring in general. So like the build your own, like kind of get it to run kit, um, you know, probably makes more
Yeah.
sense in the long run.
Yeah. And so with the Thunder Max and the NAMS kit, there's just no way to do cruise control.
No, it says in like big bold letters, this kit doesn't offer cruise control.
Wonder
Um,
why they have it like that. That's kind of odd.
I'm not sure. I think it's because it doesn't run like all the controls and everything you get for it are they tell you to shoot for like Dyna 13 controls. So it's like
Gotcha.
before the um ECM change or whatever.
So and okay, next question then I guess with the NAMS kit and the Thunder Max, is it still going to be fly by wire?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah, the NAMP kit comes with the fly by wire module and everything.
gotcha.
Um but then you have to run the route, like if you want everything else, there's like a whole, you gotta either run like the Moto Gadget kit, or NAMS offers a full bike kit to get the rest of the electrical turn signals, run, brake, all that stuff.
Yep.
And then again, that's where is it more cost effective versus an effort for the other kit, because it comes with everything all in one.
Yeah.
If you
Yeah.
through Harley and get the touring kit.
Yeah.
So I really need to see what my options are. My buddy Keith that hooked me up with all this stuff, he's the GM at Manchester Harley,
Okay.
and he's been really supportive of everything. So he said come up there and like they'll work with me on stuff and see what I need to kind of get like the motor end of things straightened out and
Yep.
he's like look at my electrical options.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
You
That's
know,
interesting.
and
I mean,
just
that's probably
whatever
going to
like
be.
whatever the best budget option is, like I want to do.
Yeah, and that's probably gonna be one of the most interesting parts of this build, right? I mean, and I'm sure of everybody that's done this is the electronics. One, there's not a lot of places to hide them. You
Yeah.
haven't powder coated that. Oh no, you haven't because you have to weld on that frame still. I mean, is there an option to because of the boxed frame on top of the FXR? Is there an option to open it up and run the wiring through the frame?
Yeah, so everything underneath I have a hole cut under the seat, and everything underneath is
Gotcha,
just wide open trough right now. Uh,
gotcha.
and because you remove so much of the frame right here, again, I'm assuming I don't know, but for like strength and tolerances, I was going to put some sort of tubing up the backbone, and I was going to run it all the way up to the top of the neck under the tank, and have the
Yep.
electric come out through it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Uh,
That would then though raise your tank up though too, wouldn't it?
no, it goes. It would still go like up the spine, up it.
Gotcha.
It would still all fit in there. The only place that I would have to make it like figure out where things fit is more right here to get the motor to fit and everything that I've had to cut out. It's starting to get just thin in there.
Yeah, gotcha.
I don't know like what I can fit under there. Like I know I can brace
Yeah,
it and support it, but I don't know how much I can get away with for like a whole tube to run wire or what
yeah,
path.
yeah. That
Um,
makes sense.
but as far as like the spine goes, there's plenty of room. You just got to make your holes big enough.
Yeah, and then you're just gonna build some panels and stuff with all the electronics on where the oil bag would be and kind of shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I have the other one where all the other side's panel where all the little like the circuits sit.
Yep.
So I'm gonna like just drill those out and use that panel, excuse me, to
Gotcha.
read it, and then I'll figure something out for this side for whatever
Yeah.
or just the basic electric goes or something.
Yeah, yeah.
Uh,
Because you're gonna have to have the ECM mounted somewhere too.
yeah. So and then there's also because where the battery's gonna sit, there's space
Yep.
under here. Because I'm gonna wall this in. A couple of the guys have been kind of walling in behind the triangle through
Yep.
here.
Yep. I've
Um,
seen that. Yep.
So we were gonna do the same thing, and I was gonna probably mount like inside there. Again, I don't know if like angles matter and stuff like that or whatever. So
Yeah. Yeah.
once I get, because I know if I go the Harley route, it does matter. So
Yeah.
it's more once I get all that stuff and figure out that. But I'm far away from that right now.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
we're
Yeah.
thinking about it. We're coming up with different game plans, but I'm still trying to get steel and get this up welded and as
Baby
much
steps.
as I can. Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
fast as
What
I
do
can,
you?
patient as I can.
Yeah. What do you think your deadline's gonna be or your finish time?
Ideally, I'd like to be a part of the FXR tour. I
Yeah.
don't. I've not sure where I land and all that. I would like to, even if I don't. That's not an invited thing. I'll just go as an uninvited builder and just hashtag the crap out of an uninvited guy going. Like whatever. Like,
Yep.
um, if I'm gonna do it, now's the time to do it. This
Yeah.
time next year, I really need to be looking into getting. I don't have the flow to take care of it yet, but eventually, I need to be into a shop. I need more space doing upholstery.
Yeah.
That to be the goal long term. Um, but for like right now and being in the garage and not having to worry, having just a little bit more time here, um, I'd like to get it done like now, get it done before I have to even worry about all that.
Yeah. 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 What's your what's your
There's other-
what's your
Go ahead.
projected time frame for your shop? Is that end of next year kind of deal? Is when you're gonna start looking?
Yeah, shop space is expensive, and again, I don't want to get into a space right before a slow time.
Yep.
Um, so yeah, like end of next year,
Gotcha.
get into a flow once I know I at least have like a solid 6 months of like heavy flow coming. Like then I'm golden.
Gotcha.
Um, but I haven't been an independent business long enough to have business credit, and that means I have to put my house on the line, and that's not worth it.
Yeah.
I
No.
got here to do it. I've got half of my garage. I have a full footprint basement, and I have half of it full of upholstery stuff. I can do what I need to do here.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
and I've got a 25-foot storage unit. So once once that's so full that I have nowhere to go, then then we can like talk about it.
Yep.
Because I can
Exhaust
offer
all your
furniture.
space.
So, like I make ottomans, I make headboards, I make full beds, like boxes, all of it. It's all on wheels, but I can set up a mobile wood shop in the driveway in 10 minutes and start plugging
Yep.
away. You know,
Perfect.
so as long as that works, and I'm comfortable, but at the same time, I need the space, and I won't be able to make what we consider like real money until I'm in a bigger space and can absorb
Yeah,
more.
yeah, yeah. Yeah.
Because even just rearranging something takes twice as long here. I got to move half my garage around to,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah. Space
um,
is space is crazy, man. It's and then it's nice when you have a big space, but then you grow into it fast. I remember when we moved into our first shop, it was 1,600 square feet, and like moving my shit in from the garage to the shop, I was like, "Fuck, this is the biggest, this is huge."
yeah,
That shop was fucking full ear to ear by like in like a year, and it was like, "Oh, we need more space." It happens fast, man. It's when you get one, try to get one big enough to grow into. You know?
yeah. And honest, like I was spoiled at the other place. I didn't realize how spoiled I was. It was actually
Y
like a biotech facility, so it was really nice. The company just happened to be one of like the first people in there when they needed residents.
Yep.
Um, and so we just stayed there. So we were like the Neanderthals of the building, but there's like air conditioning and like coffee machines and showers and
Oh,
bathrooms and
yeah.
all the amenities. It was like vending machine. It was amazing.
Oh,
Um,
yeah.
like my personal workspace was bigger than my entire garage.
Jeez.
Like when COVID shutdown happened, we only had to shut down the first 3 weeks because it was like one employee per 1,000 square feet, and we fit that for manufacturing.
Oh,
Like that was,
wow.
so we were only out of work for 3 weeks during that.
Oh, that's
Um,
good.
so to go from that much space, I had a hard time getting anything done in here the first month because I felt too claustrophobic. I felt like I
Oh,
couldn't
yeah.
do
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I've
it.
been I know that I know how that is for sure.
But once I like started to figure out my system, the big thing was I put everything on wheels. Everything in here's on wheels. I can like literally spin the whole place around.
Yeah.
Um, but right, like but when I two people drop off a sectional each, like all of a sudden I have no room to do anything, and to
Yeah,
not
yeah, yeah.
someone else's something, it just takes a long time to.
Yeah, it's not like that stuff is small.
No, I'm just like at the last shop, you just hear someone yell flip, and someone else will show up and help you flip something over. Here, I'm like, I got my dog to yell to. He's not helping me.
Yeah. You're still yelling it, but just nobody knows what the fuck you're talking about.
I yell a lot. There's a good thing that no one's here while I'm working because I talk to myself and I yell a lot.
Man, if there's nobody around, I don't say shit. If my wife goes out of town or something, I don't talk for multiple days in a row. It's weird. But
No, my family's crazy. We all talk to ourselves.
yeah, well, somebody's got to, right?
Yeah.
What's your plans for doing swing arm and suspension on the rear?
Um. So that's also like a plan A, plan B type thing.
Gotcha.
So I have everything to make the FXR swing arm fit. Like we've put it in, the geometry works. I have the bearings for it and everything, and I can do it with the I was want to say Race Tech, the Ramjet Brembo rear kit, and comes with
Yep.
spacers and everything.
Yep.
So I have to go with my dual discs. Jeff has all matching front and back Harley Brembos, so that's plan A. If plan B is if somehow a massive chunk of change falls in my lap, which I doubt, speed dealer like everyone else wants.
Yeah. Yeah.
But again, I don't know if that would happen in the time. I mean, someday maybe, but
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
again, the whole point of this is, you know, garage guy with a different career. Like everything I could do myself as nice as I can.
Yep.
You know, anything we could
Yep.
find. Um, and just have fun learning doing it.
Yeah.
You know,
Well, I'm
but at the
excited,
same
man.
time,
I'm excited for this project. I think it's going to be a cool bike, dude. I'm excited for the story and the lessons you're learning too. You know what I mean?
I'm having a blast. It's a really cool experience, and it's just younger as a musician. I thought when you grow up and get a job and you're not touring and you're like, oh, I'm not going to do anything cool anymore. And here I am, like almost 40, and I feel like I'm just kicking off. Like,
Yep.
what's going to be a very awesome adventure.
Yeah, yeah. It's gonna be for sure. It's gonna be for sure, man. I'm excited to see that thing done and riding, and I'm excited to catch up with you again as you get further along. So,
Yeah.
I mean, it'll be neat to see how it comes out. I'm stoked for your journey, dude. It's gonna be cool.
Well, thank you. I'm looking forward to it, and with the people I have behind me and the friends I have, and what we, skills combined, types our powers together.
Form like
I
Voltron.
I fully intend on being at Born Free, Texas.
Hell yeah. Well, we need to get to Born Free, California, and then
That
we'll
would
go
be
to Born Free, Texas.
that would be sick.
Yeah. If you
I need
think
to go to
Born Free,
California
Texas
for something
is
that's
big,
quick.
we got Born Free, California is still 10 times the size, easy, or more. But it's wild.
Yeah, I watch the videos every year. I'd love to get out there sometime and check it
Yeah.
out.
Yeah, just, tell your boss that you got to go on a business trip to California.
I'm sure I can go out there and talk about furniture to someone. Steve, you
Right?
want some
Exactly.
furniture?
Yeah, I mean, shoot, we can talk about it at the very least.
Sure
There you
can.
go. Yep, right off.
Love it.
All right, Nick. Well, thanks for coming on, man. I appreciate you. I'm excited to see how this thing comes along, and I'm excited to we'll do another episode as this thing moves forward. And I want to try to do episodes with people that are building so we can catch up down the road. You know what I'm saying? So we will definitely link up again here soon.
Yeah, that'd be cool. Looking forward to
All
it.
right, Nick.
All
Thank
right,
you for your
thanks.
time, brother. I appreciate
Have a good
you.
one.
Have a good
All
one.
right.